Glad to have you with us here on this special Thursday edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Schultz here with you. So glad to have you with us as we are 1 week away from Chiefs football as the Chiefs will take the field against the Baltimore Ravens and raise the banner as they'll celebrate their Super Bowl title for the second straight year. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about a new trade rumor for Cooper Kupp. Also, we'll get you the latest on Rashee Rice as we got a statement from the NFL today. We're going to look at potential free agent targets for the Chiefs. They still have a little bit of money to spend. We'll go over that in a little while from right now. Also, we'll take a look at the updated Kansas City Chiefs depth chart, and we'll do a Q&A mailbag as well. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on today's show. As you guys file in, shout out your city. We'll shout you out as we get this show off and rolling here on this Thursday afternoon. Big Tex is hanging out here with me as well. We'll bring him in just a bit. But want to hear from you guys. Where are you watching from? Shout out your city. We'll shout you out as we get this show firing here out of the gates and ready to roll on this lovely Thursday afternoon. We're coming at you from the Chat Sports Studios here in downtown Dallas, Texas. I am representing my crimson and blue today. Rock Chalk Jayhawk, baby. KU football getting the season started tonight against Lindenwood College. And so I'm hoping to fly through this show so I can get home in time for kickoff coming up at 7 o'clock Eastern time tonight. So if you're Rock Chalk, and let me know in the chat. Want to hear from my KU folks in there. I know MU plays tonight as well. I'll be rooting them on to lose, of course. But they'll probably take care of business in all honesty. Check it in the chat. Catelli in El Paso. Got Lennon in Edmond, but heading to Joplin currently. Got David in San Antonio. Good to see you, David. Tony in El Paso. James in Centralia, Arkansas. Tim in Wichita. Pooh Bear in Edmonton, Kentucky. Lisa Cheney in Parsons, Kansas. Got Don in Des Moines. Ty Man the Buckeye in Ohio. Got Mike in Oakland. Got Jerome in Longmont, Colorado. Got David in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, home of the Little League World Series. Luke in High Point, North Carolina. Got Arkansas in Branson, Missouri. I love me some Branson. Was there just a few weeks ago, actually. Lisa is KU all the way. Love it. Got Staffen in Stockholm, Sweden. KU alum and Chiefs fan. Rock Chalk, good to see you. Who else we got in here? We got Gunner in Topeka, Kansas, in the top city. Daniel in Wichita. Got Terrence in Rock Island. Got Bill in McPherson because there's no fear in McPherson. Got Christian in Fort Worth. Got Dustin in Tennessee. Jeffrey in Baltimore. Williams says 80 under Kansas City. Also got Cole in Wichita. Huge KU and K-State fan. Come on, Cole. You got to pick one or the other. Come on now. Got Craig in Mississippi. Paul is in Tongi. I got Jeremy in Smithville. Got Wolfie in Searcy, Arkansas. Got Terrence in Rock Island. Tony checking in from Oakland, Arkansas. And then Terry also here with us in Iowa. Got Carl in Seattle. Got our first Super Chat of the day. My guy Thomas Bridges checking in. Says over-under Lindenwood points scored tonight against KU 13.5. I'm going to go with the under. I am hoping for, fingers crossed, we get a shutout tonight. Kansas shuts out Lindenwood. They are one of the worst FCS teams in the country. And they were in D2 a couple years ago. They weren't even a good D2 school. And for whatever reason, they felt the need to move up to the FCS. So, yes, I got under 13.5. I'm hoping for a blowout win. Hopefully we don't have to see Jalen Daniels and Devin Neal in the second half. That would be ideal. We'll see. How many Chiefs wide receivers all time can you name? Chat, let us know right now. How many Chiefs receivers can you name all time? And I want to see who can come up with the most. Doesn't matter if they were here for a year or 10 years. How many can you come up with? Let's see who can come up with the most names. I'm not going to give away any hints, but want to hear from you guys. How many can you come up with in the chat? Tony's got one, Tyreek Hill. That's a good start. But who can come up with the most? I want to see, put a number together of how many that you guys can come up with. Peter says Cooper Kupp will ruin the team. I don't know about that one, Peter, but we'll talk about Cooper Kupp coming up later. Ian says Chiefs Kingdom. Joseph checking in from Dawson Lake. How many wide receivers can you name? Luke's got one. I see Foster's got about 4 in there, although Tony Gonzalez is not a wide receiver. He was a tight end. Bill has got 1. I see Don's got 3 more listed there. How many receivers can you come up with? Big Tex joining me right now on the ones and twos, hanging out here with us today. Big Tex, we won't give away any hints, but there are a lot of good Chiefs receivers to choose from here. Even look back this week when they cut the roster down to 53, they had to let go of some decent receivers. If you had to think of one, if you had to go back in time to the hot tub time machine and you could think of one Chiefs receiver, who comes to mind for you, Big Tex?
That's a good question because Tony Gonzalez is a tight end and obviously it doesn't count. That's a cop-out answer. It can be all-time?
All-time. Any receiver. Who comes to mind when you think Chiefs wide receivers? Could even be somebody recently. I don't care.
I think. Maybe Dwayne Bowe?
Dwayne Bowe?
Yeah. Dwayne Bowe comes to mind.
That's second.
Tyreek Hill?
That second paycheck he got, Tyreek Hill, there's another. The second paycheck that Dwayne Bowe got, he was stealing money. I mean, he cashed that paycheck. Every time he cashed it, he was stealing money with that second paycheck. That was ridiculous. Tony, with Rashee Rice, I got Foster saying Dante Hall. Seen a lot of Dante Halls in there. He was a stud. That was quite the dude. Don going with Juju, who's back. Made his return this week. That's very good to see. Jerome saying Sammy. That's another good one. Very good. Predict the Chiefs' record this season. We mentioned we're a week away from kickoff before the Chiefs take the field for the first time in 2024 in a regular season game. What will their record be? I'm not going to give you my prediction because that's going to be on another video later this week on the channel. Actually, next week. I'll do my official record prediction. But want to see what you guys think. I think Thomas might have the most. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I see 15 names from Thomas, and he's a Rams fan, might I add you. And I think he's got the most in the chat. Does Tom know more about the Chiefs than Chiefs Kingdom here? That's intriguing. Predict the Chiefs record. What do you guys think? Tony says 13-3. Foster says 11-5. Chiefs says 14-3. Tony says 13-4. Panda says 16-1. Chiefs says 14-3 or 13-4. Tony says 13-4. Bill says 15-2. David says 12-5. Richard says 14-3. Don says 14-2. Joseph saying 13-4. Jerome saying 13-4. Big Tex, give me your prediction. What it will be the Chiefs' record this season? You think?
I'm gonna go 14-3.
Okay, I would love 14-3. If you're 14-3, I'm going all KU today. By the way, not just the shirt, but also the cup as well. My Yeti. I'll say this: 13 wins, you're the number 1 seed in the AFC. That should be, I think, the target to reach. If you get to 13, then you're in really good shape. I see Pooh Bear 14-3, Carl says 15-2, Daniel says 15-2, Davin says 13-4, Dustin says 13-4. All right, Big Tex, let's give some shout-outs now. I want you guys to spam the chat. I want to see as many C's as we can over this next minute. Tex is going to shout out everybody that spams C. I want to break a chat record right now and light this thing up. It is my Friday. I'm off tomorrow, headed to Vegas in the morning, going to the USC LSU game, and I want to send in this week on a high and let the chat do their part and just let your voice be heard. Get this thing cranking. Spam the C's. Text will give the shout-outs. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, Tex, shout them out.
Let's get it. Daniel, Bill, David, Tony, Carl, Pooh, Greg, Blackie, Tony, Chiefs, Blackie, David, Christian, Blackie, Tony, David, Pooh, Carl, Chiefs, Carl, Terrence, Blackie, Nafis, Joseph, David, Tony, Blackie, Dustin, Terry, Chiefs, Blackie, James, Davis, Chiefs, David, Tony, Darius, Richard, Pooh, Brian, Darius, Luke.
Keep
Cash,
going.
Pooh,
Keep going.
Darius, Chiefs, Pooh Bear, Darius, Terrence, Darius, Carl, David, Paul, Dustin, Tony, Darius.
Halfway home. Faster,
Terry,
faster.
Luke, Chiefs, Darius, Justin, Pooh Bear, Don, Chiefs, David, Pooh Bear, Carl, Joseph, Terry, Jerome, Pooh, Christian, Chiefs, Terry, Joseph, Chiefs, Carl, Terrence,
10
Darius,
seconds left.
Pooh Bear, Joseph, Carl, Darius, Tony, David, Darius, Dustin, Carl, Pooh, Don, Terry, Terrence. Let's go.
Very good. Very good stuff right there. We're at 40 likes right now. I will crack open a cold Coors Light when we get to 50 likes. I need 10 more likes to officially start today's show. And the mountains are blue, folks. But I cannot open this till we get to 50 likes. So do your part. As my guy Smitty would like to say, liking the video when we start the show, it's like taking your shoes off when you come into somebody's home. It's just a simple gesture to help support the show and help get this thing out to as many people as possible. If you can just hit that like button, we'd certainly appreciate it. Just like that, already at 50 likes. Cheers. The beers are cold, the mountains are blue, and the Chiefs are on their way to getting to another Super Bowl. Cheers, everybody. Let's go. Let's go. All right, Super Chat menu today. Here is what we're offering, folks. If you would like to get in on the action today, first-time Super Chatters, you'll get the KC chant. $5 Super Chat, we'll do the Mahomes song. $10 Super Chat, we'll take some shots. We'll go to the Patron Zone. Got some tequila in hand here. $25 Super Chat, we'll get Bean Boozled with the spicy jelly beans. Got Sriracha, Habanero, Cayenne, also Jalapeno, Carolina Reaper, and more. $50 Super Chat, we'll get out the beer bong. And then if we reach 200 today, then we will do a boot. That is 3 beers in one. We will chug a boot as quickly as we possibly can. That is what we're offering today. Coming up on today's show, the latest news and rumors as we're talking about a potential trade for Cooper Kupp. Also, we will get to the latest on Rashee Rice, what's going on there, and a possible suspension where things stack up right now. Free agent targets, Chiefs still have about $8 million. Who could they potentially bring in? We'll break down the Chiefs depth chart as well, how it looks heading into week 1, and we'll do a Q&A rumors mailbag as well. Get your questions in now, hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. Super Chat questions we will get to first, but we want to get as many questions as we can. And Big Tex, we still need plenty of questions, don't we? Yes. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this show started. We'll begin with our news and rumors, talking about a potential trade for Cooper Kupp. Also, the latest on Rashee Rice. Tony, you can't have anything between the hashtag and Chiefs. It's got to be one thing. I don't know how many times I have to tell this, people. Real simple. Just hashtag Chiefs, get your questions in. Yes. Only a million times every show, right? All right. Without further ado, we will begin with our news and rumors on your Kansas City Chiefs, starting right now here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Let's get after it. Coming up on today's show, could the Kansas City Chiefs make a trade for Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp? We will show you the latest rumors from Fox Sports connecting the Rams wide receiver to the Chiefs in just a moment. Also, we have an update to get to on Rashee Rice and a potential suspension. Where do things stand there with the National Football League? We got a statement that we'll read you from the NFL coming up in just a little while from right now. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. College football is back, folks. Getting things started tonight with my Kansas Jayhawks. Had to represent the Crimson and Blue big game tonight against Lindenwood. And obviously, there's going to be college football action all weekend long. If you're excited about week 1 in college football, like the video. Even if you're a Mizzou fan or a K-State fan, as bad as I feel for you that you have chosen to go that route, we can all unite together that we're excited that college football's back. Like the video. Shout out your favorite team in the comments section. Who do you root for on Saturdays? Are you like me? Do you root for the Kansas Jayhawks? If so, spam KU or any other team out there, and we'll get started with today's show. Cooper Kupp to Kansas City. Fox Sports is suggesting a blockbuster trade that would send the Los Angeles Rams wide receiver to Kansas City. Much has been made about this Chiefs receiver room entering 2024. They've made great improvements, but A lot of people out there don't think that it's good enough, that Patrick Mahomes deserves more. Here's what Henry McKenna of Fox Sports had to say. With Worthy, it's that he's a rookie. There are no assurances that he can produce in the NFL. With Rice, it's that he has a looming suspension for his felony charges stemming from a multi-car accident. With Brown, it's his injury history, including the sterno injury, likely to hold him out week 1. Those guys can still get plenty of time in an offense that focuses on Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Kupp. In order to get the deal done, the Chiefs would have to finagle their salary cap to fit the veteran receiver. But, man, this offense would absolutely hum with this group of threats. As for the Rams, who boast a group of young, emerging wideouts headlined by Puka Nacua, they don't really need Kupp anymore. They might as well sell on the 31-year-old receiver while they can get terrific value. This is a wild idea, but personally, I love it. If the Chiefs could really bring in Cooper Kupp, if that is an actual possibility that's on the table, sign me up. I'm making this trade tonight if this is a real possibility. And the trade idea that Fox Sports is suggesting, that the Chiefs get Cooper Kupp in exchange for a 2025 second-round pick. So the second-round pick, you don't have to wait for. Cooper Kupp immediately joins this team as an impact player. So to me, that is a great idea if you can actually pull this off. But that's the big if here. Personally, I would be shocked if the Rams were willing to trade Cooper Kupp. That's a Rams team that believes that they'll compete in the NFC West and compete for an NFC title this year in the postseason. I can't imagine them moving on at this juncture, right before the season starts, from one of their best players, one of their key players on this offense. But if they are truly willing and able to move Cooper Kupp, then I couldn't pass up on this opportunity. Cooper Kupp, a Super Bowl MVP, was the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year in 2021. A terrific season as he won the wide receivers triple crown with leading the league in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. He has been a little banged up as he's gotten older, but he's still produced at a high level. You go back to that 2021 campaign, he had nearly 2,000 yards receiving with 16 touchdowns and 145 catches. Since then, in 2022, he had 75 catches for 812 yards, 6 touchdowns. And last season, played in 12 games, his numbers dipped a bit, down to 59 catches, 737 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And here's the thing. If you add Cooper Kupp to this mix, and what I already think is a dynamic offense, when you talk about Kelce and Pacheco with Worthy and Hollywood Brown and company here, I mean, it would just be unfair for the rest of the league. You look at the Chiefs receiver room, and I like this receiver room better than most people. I think Hollywood Brown, once he gets healthy, is going to have a nice bounce-back season. I think Xavier Worthy is going to have a strong rookie campaign. And then Rashee Rice, we'll talk about his situation here in just a bit. Rashee Rice, there's no reason why he can't build upon what he did last season and have an even better year than what he did as a rookie. So do you need Cooper Kupp? Not necessarily. But if it's an option out there, there's no way I'm passing up on this, folks. Should the Chiefs trade for Cooper Kupp? What do you guys think? It's our pinned comment today. Type T for trade, P for pass. Way in the comment section, your chance to be Brett Feach, and let us know. We are your one-stop shop for all things Kansas City Chiefs as we're bringing you daily news and rumors. We have our live shows each and every week. We're doing our watch parties for almost every Chiefs game this season. And this is the place you want to be. If you love your Kansas City Chiefs, you got to subscribe. We're trying to hit 57,000 subscribers before week 1. We're just a week away from the Chiefs opener against the Baltimore Ravens. Help us out. Grow this channel. Join the family of the members of the Chiefs Kingdom. If you're really a part of the Chiefs Kingdom, you got to be subscribed to the Chiefs Report. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV for the latest happenings in your Kansas City Chiefs all season long. All right, let's get to an update on Rashee Rice. The NFL's Public Relations Department released a statement today on the status of Rashee Rice entering Week 1 with all the offseason activities that occurred. And we'll recap those in just a bit. The question has been looming for the last several months. Will Rashee Rice be suspended? Will he play Week 1? Well, according to this latest update from Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, it sounds like Rashee Rice will be good to go for now. Rappaport tweeting out this morning. On a conference call, NFL's Jeff Miller day, they are closely monitoring the situation for Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice, saying they'll follow the legal developments. My read, with his legal situation not yet settled, Rice remains eligible to play this season. That was followed up with another tweet about an hour later from Rap Sheet that said, clarity from NFL PR guy on Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice. We don't anticipate he'll be placed on the commissioner's exempt list unless there is a material change in this case. So, with that said, Rashee Rice is unlikely to be suspended this season. It seems like all signs point to, with where this investigation is at. I know that he had the civil case trial date come up, but that doesn't affect this, as it's the criminal trial that the NFL is focused in on, that it seems like this is not going to happen this year, that Rashee Rice should be able to play in 2024. And one thing of note, I think we all think about the instances in the past where the NFL was a little quick to pass judgment, right? When you recall the Rashee Rice situation before that was all settled, he was suspended 6 games, and there was some controversy around that. And some other players across the National Football League were suspended before their legal situations were solved. Ben Roethlisberger, another example of that, just to name a few. The league doesn't really do that anymore. What they have changed in their structure when it comes to these situations is they are letting the legal process play out for the most part, unless it's, domestic, very egregious of that sense. And then they hand down these suspensions. So it looks like this Rashee Rice situation isn't going to get figured out from the legal side of things anytime soon. So with that in mind, it seems like Rashee Rice is, in all likelihood, good to go and will play Week 1 and beyond for Kansas City. Should the NFL even suspend Rashee Rice? What do you guys think? You got 2 options here. Type Y for yes, N for no. Way in the comment section, let us know what you think. We mentioned Xavier Worthy earlier. He is worthy, folks, of you buying his jersey. We have Xavier Worthy jerseys on sale now at chatsports.com/worthy. Got the home jersey, got the road jersey. We got men's and women's sizes available and free shipping on top of that. You can still get it in time for the opener next week. Get yours now, chatsports.com/worthy. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/worthy. Let's recap the situation of what all has gone on with Rashee Rice this offseason. You go back to March 30th when he was involved in a car crash and was charged with 8 felonies in Dallas. And then just over a month later on May 6th, also in Dallas, he had an incident where it involved an assault at a Dallas nightclub. Ultimately, the charges were dropped from that alleged assault. And then a few days later, there was reports out of an alleged shooting that he was a part of, again, allegedly, as a player at SMU. And that has been the story of the offseason for Rashee Rice at this point. Meanwhile, on the football field, Rashee Rice has looked fantastic. He was, without question, the Chiefs' best receiver in training camp and in the preseason. And you saw it in the second preseason game. It was very obvious that he was going to be the key target to this receiving corps outside of Travis Kelce. He finished the preseason with 4 catches for 35 yards, nearly 9 yards reception. He was really good. And Patrick Mahomes has been very high on Rashee Rice, of him taking that next step to potentially being a 1,000-plus yard receiver and a Pro Bowler this year. Patrick Mahomes said this recently. I think he's going to be a lot better this year, honestly, just the way he's able to run routes. It was coming along at the end of last year, but he worked on it this whole offseason, and he's in great shape. He's coming in. He's running great routes. I mean, even one of the plays, I looked to the left, and he wasn't covered. He was kind of the backside, and he won against a guy, man-to-man coverage, caught the ball and makes the positive play, and those are the little things that I think he's going to continue to get better and better at. We say all this to say, the key for Rashee Rice this year is to push all that other stuff aside. Focus on football. Don't let it become a distraction for you or your teammates and go out there and just ball out. Eventually, the legal stuff will work itself out. He could serve a suspension down the line, but at least for now, don't do anything stupid. Don't let any other issues come up, and go ball out and play at a high level. And I think Rashee Rice is going to do that. Do you believe in Rashee Rice? Is he going to have a big season in 2024? You got two options here. Type B for believe, D for don't. Write in the comment section and let us know what you think. If you enjoyed today's show, if you're like me and you're excited for college football getting started here this weekend, like the video. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time here on the Chiefs Report. All right. We'll get to a super chat in just a moment, but let's go back to the Cooper Kupp question. Should the Chiefs trade for Cooper Kupp? Type T for trade, P for pass. Big Tex rejoins me right now. Big Tex, if that is an option, if that's on the table, and that's what it takes, just a second-round pick, I don't know how you say no.
Yeah, I would definitely be saying yes. I was looking at his list for a cat earlier when I was building it before the show. And I mean,
that's a graphic for the folks at home, by the way.
Oh, yeah. That's his last 4 seasons, his receiving stats. And so they don't know. Good call. Yeah, I mean, he had 16 touchdowns a few years ago. I mean, he's a very productive player. And yeah, he's not the same player he was. He's 31, right? But that's not a lot to give up for someone that can still perform at a pretty high level for his age.
Thomas, the Rams fan, checking in, says McVay wouldn't part with Kupp for a lousy second, LOL. You know, that's the point I made. I said I would be shocked if they were willing to part for just a second-round pick, if that's an option on the table. Not to mention, Tom says lousy. Tex, I think it's a good point. The Chiefs are likely to have the very last pick in the second round, or one of the last picks in the second round. It's not a high-value second the Rams would be getting. So I think that's a very good point. Super Chat menu, if you want to be like Thomas, get involved into today's show, and also get priority on the mailbag segment. You can do so by hitting the $sign next to the chat box. First-time Super Chats, you'll get the KC chant. $5 Super Chat will sing you the Mahomes song. $10 Super Chat will take down some shots. We'll go to the Patron zone here. $25 Super Chat will get Bean Boozled with a spicy jelly bean. $50 Super Chat will get out the beer bong in all its glory. If we reach 200 collectively, then we'll do a boot here on today's show. So far, we're at $4 right now. So a ways to go, but it can be done. I've seen some crazy stuff happen here at Chat Sports before, so we shall see. Up next, let's talk free agent targets. Who could the Chiefs add before next week? I got 5 names that the Chiefs could potentially add. We'll go over my list, react to it, and talk about how they could potentially fit in coming up on this edition of the Chiefs Report. That's next, and then we'll do a depth chart breakdown, and then after that we'll do a Q&A mailbag as well. So plenty more ahead. Glad to have you with us. Thanks for spending your Thursday afternoon here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk free agent targets right now here on the Chiefs Report. Could a big move be coming for your Kansas City Chiefs? They still have close to $8 million in cap space, according to Spotrac. On this edition of the program, we will look at 5 potential free agent targets for the Kansas City Chiefs after roster cutdown day that they could still bring in before the season begins. We'll go over that list coming up in just a moment. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Folks, we are trying to reach 57,000 subscribers on the channel before week 1, and we are very, very close. We are just over 300 subs away. And the bosses tell me we might have to shut the channel down if we don't get to 58K subs before week 1. Why on earth would we do that, folks? Subscribe now. Join us for our watch party coming up next week. In addition to our live shows, our daily news and rumors, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more. It's all in one place right here on the Chiefs Report. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. Let's begin at the corner position. This is where we find Patrick Peterson, the 34-year-old who will in all likelihood be a Hall of Famer someday. He is still looking for a place to call home in 2024 after playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. It's no secret, Patrick Peterson, he is not a spring chicken. He is an old man now, but he still has an incredible resume. And you look at the corner position for the Kansas City Chiefs, that remains the only big concern for this Chiefs team. at this point entering 2024. And Patrick Peterson, although he's not what he used to be, he still could be a nice asset and make you feel a little bit better about this group heading into this year. You look at what Peterson has done. He's been phenomenal. An 8-time Pro Bowler, a 3-time first-team All-Pro, and at the very least could be a great presence in that corner room that's very young, very youthful there with what he's done over the years. He's been there, done that, and he can show them how to do that. Was a part of the NFL's All-Decades team in 2010. And you look at these statistics. Last year, I know a lot of people were kind of hard on Patrick Peterson, but he still had 2 interceptions and 11 pass breakups along with 42 tackles. The year prior to that in Minnesota, he had 5 interceptions and 13 pass breakups along with 66 tackles and 3 tackles for loss. And what have we talked a lot about with Trent McDuffie? As excited as we are about Trent McDuffie, coming off an All-Pro campaign and stepping into a larger role in place of L'Jarius Sneed, who's gone now, McDuffie has never had an interception in his career. Patrick Peterson could play a completely different role from Trent McDuffie and be a nice compliment potentially for this Kansas City Chiefs defense. Let's ask you, put your GM hat on now. Let us know. Should the Chiefs sign Patrick Peterson? You got 2 options here. Type S for sign, P for pass. Weigh in, let us know. Next up, we find offensive tackle David Bakhtiari, formerly of the Green Bay Packers, 32 years of age. And you think about this Chiefs offensive line. Kingsley is going to be your starting left tackle as a rookie. And then you got Jawan Taylor as your starting right tackle. And I know Jawan Taylor's been paid a lot of money, but think about this. He's already been hurt this year. He's already been banged up a bit. And if we're going to be honest with ourselves, Jawan Taylor didn't look that great in 2023. And Bakhtiari, I think at this point, is probably not going to be a starter at this juncture, at least for a team right now. Maybe if there's an injury or something, potentially he could go sign somewhere and be a starter. But you could bring him in and be that backup swing tackle, and you would have one of the best backup swing tackles. It would be a pretty good insurance policy for this Kansas City Chiefs team, whether Kingsley, if he's not up to snuff, or if Jawan Taylor struggles, or if he isn't healthy, then you have a pretty decent option in Bakhtiari to fill in. Bakhtiari, a 2-time first-team All-Pro, a 3-time Pro Bowler. He is coming off injury himself, missed most of 2023 with a knee injury, but he says he's healthy, that he's ready to go at full strength entering 2024. So he's a name to keep an eye on. We'll see. He said, too, that he wants to play for a contending team, that he would love to go compete for a Super Bowl. There's no better place to do it than right here in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes in this squad. The last time that we saw a decent number of games played for Bakhtiari, you have to go back to 2022, when he had a very good pass block grade of 87.8, an overall grade of a 79.8, and a run block grade of 68.5 in 11 games played that season. Edge rusher. You can never have too many pass rushers, folks. I don't know how many times I need to say that, but I think it's a good reminder for everybody out there. Yannick Ngakoue is still available at this point in time, and he had a bit of a down year in 2023. Now Ngakoue, a week away from the season, is looking for some type of prove-it contract. He's not going to make the money that he's made previously. And where the Chiefs are at salary cap space-wise right now, this is something you could easily do if you want to pursue it in a guy like Ngakoue, and could be a perfect fit for what the Kansas City Chiefs are looking for. Bring him off the bench as a rotational pass rusher, go out there and just get some sacks. I don't need to worry about Yannick Ngakoue stopping the run or playing coverage. I just need him to go after the quarterback, come off the bench and do that. Yannick Ngakoue is more than capable of that. Ngakoue, he's been a bit of a journeyman, playing for the Bears, Colts, Raiders, Ravens, Vikings, and Jags. 2017 was probably his best season, as he was a Pro Bowler and led the league in forced fumbles that season. And you don't have to go back very far to find when Ngakoue was very productive. 9.5 sacks in 2022, 10 sacks in 2021, 8 in 2020. If he could get me 8 or more, then you're cooking with bacon grease right there. To me, I would feel great about that. If he could do that off the bench, I think you would sign up for that in a heartbeat. Should the Chiefs sign Yannick Ngakoue? What do you think about bringing him to Kansas City? Type Y for yes, in for no. Let me know. If you're Brett Veach, would you bring in Ngakoue or not? Weigh in, let us know. Next up, we find Lawrence Guy. That guy, Lawrence Guy, the former New England Patriots defensive end, is still available in free agency. And you think about where the Chiefs are at on the defensive line right now. Charles Omenihu is going to be out for a while as he begins the 2024 campaign on the PUP list. And with him on the PUP list, this could add to a nice mix with Karlaftis, with Mike Dana, and then we really don't know what we're going to get out of King Felix just yet, right? King Felix says, looked very good in training camp, but kind of left a lot to be desired in the preseason, so we really don't know. You bring in a guy like Lawrence Guy, and you could be feeling a lot better about where this group is at heading in to 2024 potentially here. Lawrence Guy, previously with the Patriots, the Ravens, Chargers, Colts, and Packers. Oh, yeah, and he's a champion, too. Won a Super Bowl with New England. He was named to the Patriots All-2010s team and was just spectacular there in New England and could be a good fit for what this Kansas City Chiefs team needs. The numbers from Lawrence Guy, down a bit last year. Played in all 17 games, did not have a sack, 38 tackles, had 2 sacks in 2022 with 3 tackles for loss. And you can see that's kind of been what the numbers have been at the last few seasons. Last on our list, we find Shaquille Leonard at the linebacker position. And you look at the linebacker room for Kansas City. I think it's pretty solid, but you're an injury away from having some serious question marks about this linebacker room right now. And Shaq Leonard, I don't think anybody is signing him right now to be their day one starter at the linebacker spot. I think they're looking at him to be a number 3, a number 4, and that could be a perfect fit for what the Chiefs need right now. And this is somebody that if an injury happens, whatever it may be, if he needs to step in and start, he's more than capable of getting the job done. Leonard, you look at his career. We mentioned with the Eagles and the Colts, a 3-time first-team All-Pro in 2018, 2020, and 2021. A 3-time Pro Bowler from 2019 to 2021. His best season, you'll go back to 2018 when he was the league's leader in forced fumbles as well as solo and combined tackles that season. Last year, when he made the transition from Indianapolis to Philadelphia midseason, it wasn't a great go at it as he was limited to 88 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. Only played in 3 games in 2022, but you see the seasons in 2021 and 2020, 122 tackles in 21, 132 tackles in 2020. So, with that said, we've gone through all 5 players. Now we want to hear from you guys. Who is somebody the Kansas City Chiefs should sign? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. For continuing Kansas City Chiefs coverage, subscribe now to the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I'm Tyler Jones. Appreciate you joining us. We'll see you next time. All right, halfway home. Up next, we'll get to our depth chart as we'll go through the entire depth chart from offense, defense, and special teams for the Chiefs, and I'll give away my takeaways. Want to hear from you guys. What do you think about Patrick Peterson? Should the Chiefs sign him? S for sign, P for pass. Weigh in the chat right now and let us know if you like the idea of bringing in Patrick Peterson. I see Chiefs in says sign. Chris says pass. Terrence says pass. Jerome says pass. Boo Bear says sign. Hernandez says pass. Don says pass. I got Carl saying pass. Amy says sign. Chief says sign. Tim says sign. Chief says sign. Tony says pass. Paul says pass. Don says sign. Paul says pass. Bill says sign. Chief says sign. So it seems pretty well split, about 50-50 among the chat when it comes to Patrick Peterson, whether he should sign or not. S for sign, P for pass. A reminder, we will do our mailbag segment after we get to our depth chart. And get your questions in using hashtag Chiefs or super chatting to get on the mailbag portion of today's show. And super chat questions will get the priority. We'll include those first, and then we'll get to the others after that. So continue to get your questions in. We need plenty of questions for this mailbag segment, like Chiefs. He just got his question in. Be like Chiefs and use that hashtag Seahawks. I see Tony with a question in there as well. Keep sending those in. We'll react to them coming up in just a few moments from right now. Up next, we'll do the depth chart. Let's go over the Super Chat menu real quick. And then we'll get to our depth chart. Here's the Super Chat menu if you'd like to take part in today's show. First-time Super Chatters get the KC chant. $5 Super Chat, we'll do the Mahomes song. $10 Super Chat, we'll take down some shots. $25 Super Chat, we'll get Bean Boozled with the spicy jelly bean. $50 Super Chat, we'll do a beer bong. Depth chart time. Let's look at the Chiefs depth chart heading into week 1 against the Baltimore Ravens next week. That is ahead. Glad to have you with us. Thanks for joining us here on this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Depth chart breakdown starts right now. You're watching the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Jones, here with you. And we are here to project the Kansas City Chiefs depth chart for how things will stack up when they take on the Baltimore Ravens coming up in just a week from right now. We'll go over the offense, the defense, the special teams. I'll give you my takeaways as well. All that and more coming up in just a few moments. I want to set a record today, folks. I want to see if we can get more subscribers on this video than we ever have before. The most subs we've ever added on a single video here on the channel is 260. I want to add at a minimum 300 new subscribers to the channel today. Can we make that happen? Here's why you should subscribe to the Chiefs Report. We're bringing you daily Chiefs coverage you won't find anywhere else. Live shows every week. Watch parties for most games this season. Q&A mailbags. We are the most interactive Chiefs channel on the internet. If you love the Kansas City Chiefs, this is the channel for you. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV, and we'll get started with today's show. Let's begin with the quarterback room. Patrick Mahomes, QB1, Carson Wentz, QB2, as they are the only two quarterbacks on the roster at the moment for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have a fantastic season. He's got more weapons around him than he's had in quite some time. He's motivated. He's fired up, looking for that third straight Super Bowl. I think he gets back to MVP form this season. Carson Wentz, I think, is a more than capable backup. If, for whatever reason, he needs to come in, I think he'll do just fine. The backfield for Kansas City, some changes from where this was at just a few weeks ago. Pacheco remains your RB1. Edwards-Helaire, your RB2. And welcome to Kansas City, Samaje Perine. I'm wearing the KU shirt, and I'll be honest, it hurts to see Samaje there because he set the NCAA rushing record against my Jayhawks with over 420 yards when he was at the University of Oklahoma. But welcome to town. We saw the Chiefs struggle to stop him when he was with the Cincinnati Bengals a couple of years ago. He'll be your RB3. He's still in his 20s, but he looks like he's 45. And then Carson Steele, the breakout player for the Chiefs in the preseason, was unbelievable. He's going to play a hybrid role at running back and at fullback. And I'm excited to see what Carson Steele can potentially bring to the table here as a secret weapon. And I saw something from Caesars that had odds for Carson Steele of an anytime touchdown week 1 against Baltimore at plus 1,800. You got to jump on that bet. If you're a bettor, that's some potential big money that you could make. As somebody that grew up watching Wheel of Fortune, big money, big money. I'm looking out for y'all. Get your big money bets on Carson Steele to potentially get a touchdown week 1. I love how this group ended up because we didn't know, right? We saw Deneric Prince have a very good training camp. Carson Steele just really came out of left field. And then Samaje Perine getting out of the mix. I think this is a pretty good backfield. I'm a little skeptical of how Clyde's going to look, but Pacheco is so good that I think you got some really good options there for Andy to work with. Not to mention, he doesn't even like to run the football anyway. And you got guys that can get the job done. I think you're going to like what you see from that backfield. The wide receiver room for Kansas City. This has undergone some changes as well. No Kadarius Toney. He's gone, along with a number of other guys that were moved. Xavier Worthy checks in, the rookie from the University of Texas, at the left wide receiver spot. Hollywood Brown at the right wide receiver spot. A little Red River shootout going on between those two. But, of course, Marquise is banged up right now. Hopefully he returns soon. And then Rashee Rice will be your slot receiver. Sky Moore, Justin Watson, Juju Smith-Schuster, and McCole Hardman backing those guys up. This group is a lot better than what the mainstream media has given them credit for. Every day, folks, I'm reading on the interwebs about how the Chiefs need to go out there and go make a trade for another receiver. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, did you see what Mahomes did the last 2 seasons with his receiving cores? And they still won Super Bowls. This group is a lot better than those 2 groups. And I think it's going to pay off. I think that Hollywood, when he gets healthy, is going to be great. I think Xavier Worthy is going to be awesome. I think Rashee Rice is going to have another good year. This receiver room is being slept on, and I think you're going to like the results. Grade the Chiefs depth chart, A, B, C, D, or F. Whip out your red pen. What do you think of this group entering 2024? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Next up, let's go to the tight end room that has also undergone some changes, as Travis Kelce is your tight end 1. Big shock with Noah Gray as your tight end 2. I like what I've seen from Noah Gray. Meanwhile, Jared Wiley is backing up Kelce and Gray. And then Peyton Hendershot, who they just traded from the Dallas Cowboys. Not a ton of production. I don't know what to expect from Hendershot. But I think with Gray and Wiley, you have the flexibility to do some 2 tight end looks, some 12 personnel. Haven't seen the Chiefs do a ton of that in recent memory, but Wiley, I think, is going to impress. If he gets more opportunity, I think he's got a decent shot to pass up Gray on the depth chart sooner than later this season. The offensive line for Kansas City, the much-discussed offensive line. Kingsley, your starting left tackle. A rookie starting at left tackle, a second-rounder. That's going to be interesting. Joe Tooney's back at left guard. Creed Humphrey, the best center in the NFL, he's got a new contract. Pretty exciting for him. Trey Smith still waiting to get paid. He's your starting right guard. Jawan Taylor's your starting right tackle. And then Wanya Morris, among others there, backing those guys up. 10 deep there on the old line. Now, starting a rookie, even as good as Kingsley's played. And I think I've been the biggest Kingsley fan of anybody out there on the internet. In fact, I hear from you guys in the comments section, man, Tyler just keeps bumping up Kingsley so much. But he deserves it. He's been fantastic. I think he's going to be a great fit. It's still a bold move to start a rookie left tackle. But even with the question marks you may have on the offensive line, the thing I think we can sit here and say to ourselves of why we feel pretty good about this group is that interior. That interior offensive line is about as good as you can realistically ask for in today's NFL. And Creed Humphrey, remember, he was taking some snaps at guard in training camp. I don't think they're moving him to guard by any stretch. But I think they have some stuff in mind, similar to what Jason Kelce did in Philadelphia, of pulling the center and making him more flexible. I think you're going to see some of that with Creed Humphrey and have a great season. Let's talk defense now. And the defense includes Karlaftis, Jones, Noddy, Mike Dana, along with King Felix, and among others in that group there. And you don't have Charles Omenihu to start the season. He's on the PUP list. But I'm very intrigued to see, what do we get out of King Felix? How does he come along? And can he be an impact player? He had a great training camp. Didn't play that great in the preseason. I want to see, what's he made of? Can he finally put it together and show me something? Show me anything. Because if he does, that changes everything for this defensive line. What's your confidence level in the Chiefs' defense right now? What do you think of what Spags has put together here? Scale it for me 1 through 10 in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Got a great deal we're offering Chiefs fans right now. Xavier Worthy jerseys on sale now at chatsports.com/Worthy. Got the home jersey, got the road jersey, men's and women's options, all different shapes and sizes. And still time to get this before the start of the NFL season, folks. Free shipping available. Go to chatsports.com/Worthy. He is worthy of you buying his jersey. Get yours now at chatsports.com/Worthy. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. The linebacker room, Tranquil, Bolton, Chanel, as well as Jones and others in that group. I think Drew is going to be better than what he's given credit for. I think Nick Bolton's going to take a step forward. I expect him to get paid here pretty soon as well. He's put an emphasis on creating turnovers. I think that there's no reason why Bolton can't be a Pro Bowl caliber linebacker this year. The corner room looks a bit different. No more L'Jarius Sneed. Trent McDuffie moves from the nickel to the full-time outside corner role with Johnson and Connor and a few other guys in the mix there. McDuffie is going to be asked to do a lot with the departure of Sneed. But think about this. Remember that first Super Bowl the Chiefs won in this Mahomes era? The corner room wasn't that great back then. They made up for it with how well they got after the quarterback, with their pass rushers, with those guys that made life a lot easier on the secondary. You had McDuffie there, but I'm not as concerned as what some people are because you're so good everywhere else. And with the safety room we'll talk about here in a moment, you're going to be able to cover some things for that corner room with the lack thereof, if you will. The safety room, Justin Reed is back, Brian Cook is there, and Jaden Hicks. I got to tell you, I love me some Jaden Hicks. He was fantastic this preseason. I expect the Chiefs to be able to play some 3 safety looks at times with Hicks as another option there. Special teams, America's kicker, Harrison Butker, the most accurate kicker in the NFL last season. He is back. He got paid. Matt Isaac comes in, known as the punt god. A little sacrilegious, but we'll roll with it, I guess. He is going to be a difference maker. Hopefully we don't see a ton of him. And then, meanwhile, the punt return coverage, got Xavier Worthy, McCole Hardman, both out there. McCole Hardman going to be involved in kick returns as well. Who is a breakout player for the Chiefs this season? If you had to give me one, who would it be and why? Name them in the comments section. Thanks for joining us here this edition of the Chiefs Report. Subscribe now if you love the Kansas City Chiefs, and we'll see you next time here on the channel. All right. Up next, we will get to a Q&A mailbag. I see we've got some good questions. Could use a couple more. About 2 more questions, and then we'll get started. Grade the depth chart, A, B, C, D, or F. John says A. Tony says A. Continue to get those in. Also, here's the Super Chat menu if you'd like to get involved in the show. First-time Super Chatters get the KC chant. $5 Super Chat, we'll sing you the Mahomes song. $10 Super Chat, we'll take down some shots. $25 Super Chat, we'll get the spicy jelly beans out, get bean boozled. I got Sriracha, Jalapeno, Cayenne, Habanero, and Carolina Reaper as potential options today. $50 Super Chat, we'll do a beer bong. If we reach 200 in Super Chats, then we will do a boot. We only have $4 right now, but, folks, there is still time. There's still plenty of time to get there. So get your questions in now for the Super Chat. And there's the boot in all its glory as far as that goes. Mailbag time. Yes, Tex. They're not related, so don't worry about it. Yeah. All right. Get your questions in. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. And we'll do our final segment before we wrap up and call it a day. So that's what's ahead. And more to come throughout the weekend. We'll have plenty of videos throughout the next few days. Then we're going to be live coming up on Thursday night. Big Tex is going to join me. We'll see you then right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report for Chiefs and Ravens here on the channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with our final segment, our mailbag. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of the show. Let's react to it right now. Here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report, we'll get started. Final segment begins right now. It is time to drop our sack and touch our bags on this edition of the mailbag show of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. You got questions, you're in luck because I got answers. We'll talk everything from potential trades you guys have thrown out there to some different rumors and anything you guys got in your Kansas City Chiefs. We'll answer it all here on today's show. And you may be wondering, how can I be a part of a mailbag show here on the Chiefs Report? Well, if you subscribe to the Chiefs Report and turn on notifications, that makes you a member of the Noti Gang. Those are the first ones to know when we have new content, whether it's when we're going live, whether it's we're doing a watch party, we might have breaking news, whatever it may be. So I need you not only to subscribe to the channel, but turn on notifications. Stay locked in. Join the Nota Gang. If you're in the Nota Gang, spam Nota Gang in the comments section, and we'll get rolling here on today's show. Tony, with the first question, writes in, will KC make more trades or know that we are set? You know, I'll never say never on that. I feel really good about this Chiefs roster. I think this team's in very good shape heading into 2024. I think this is the best Chiefs roster we've seen in quite some time in the Mahomes era here in Kansas City. I would lean towards no, but I'm not going to completely rule it out. I think it's certainly possible the Chiefs could still be in business to make another move or two. If Brett Veach can find value out there, wouldn't surprise me if he made one more move here. We'll see. Pat Mahomey writes in, any chance the Chiefs could trade for Allen Lazard? Allen Lazard's an interesting cat. He's with the New York Jets now, and last season was not Lazard's best effort. 14 games played, his numbers were down quite a bit. But remember, he had Zach Wilson throwing him the football, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. 311 yards, just one touchdown. The year prior with with Aaron Rodgers throwing him the football, he had nearly 800 yards and 6 touchdowns. If Lazard was in this offense, he would be putting up numbers similar to what he did in 2022. And I don't think you'd have to give up a ton. You'd have to take up his contract and all that. But Lazard, I would be very open to that possibility. Do I think they're going to do it? No. Would I like it to happen? I'm all ears. I am fascinated by this possibility. I think Lazard would be a natural fit. He's a Midwest guy, too. Remember, he played at Iowa State, spent a long time with the Packers. I think he'd fit right in with what the Chiefs want to do offensively. Should the Chiefs trade for Allen Lazard? It's our pin comment today. Weigh in, let us know. D for trade, P for pass. Your chance to be Brett Veach. Let us know in the comment section if you trade for Lazard or not. Big Red. Good to see you, Big Red. Should the Chiefs try to trade for Budda Baker? Budda. You know, I look at that safety room, and there's not a ton there. You only have, 3 guys on the active roster playing safety right now? Budda would be great, and his trade value has gone down significantly. When the Cardinals were originally shopping him, they were hoping for a first-round pick. Now I think at best you're looking at a second and a fifth. And you add him to that safety room, you put him next to Justin Reed. You got Brian Cook there. You got Jaden Hicks. That would make me feel a lot better about that secondary because you have question marks at the corner position, and you're going to need guys to cover for the corners to kind of make up for the lack thereof besides Trent McDuffie. So I would love this idea. Will they do it? I'm not getting my hopes up, but if Budda Baker's a potential option, why not? Why not make it happen? Should the Chiefs trade for Budda Baker? For Budda? Put your GM hat on. Let us know. Y for yes, N for no, if you would trade for Budda Baker or not. Casey for Life says, how many yards does Xavier Worthy have for the Chiefs this season? So, at the time of this recording, it does not appear like Rashee Rice is getting suspended anytime soon. So you can pretty much assume he's going to be there. Highwood Brown, banged up right now. We'll see when he returns and how many games he's going to play. So then we turn our attention to Xavier Worthy. And Xavier Worthy, there might be times this year where he might be looked upon as the number one option. And there's a big opportunity for him to really just go off. The concern for me when it comes to Xavier Worthy that we talked about when he was coming out of UT was the careless drops. I think he does a very good job of running routes and getting open, but he's got to haul in the football. He can't make those little mistakes. If he does a good job taking care of the football and not dropping the easy stuff, then there's no reason why Xavier Worthy can't have 800-plus yards. I think that he can have an even better season than what Rashee Rice did as a rookie last year. And if he has a similar season to Rashee Rice, I would gladly take that because I think Brown and Rice are both going to play well in their own right and make this a three-headed monster in the receiver room. So I think about 800-plus, I'd be very satisfied. I'd be very pleased, and I think that's a realistic goal. Tony writes in, I'm up for the Chiefs to bring in Cooper Kupp, but I don't see the Chiefs signing Kupp in the roster. How However, okay. Thank you, Tex. I'm up for it. Yeah, we talked about Cooper Kupp this week here on the channel. There was an idea that Fox Sports threw out there of trading a second-round pick for Cooper Kupp. I don't think the Rams are trading him, but if they are, if he is on the market for just a second-round pick, do it. Do it right now and just load up this receiving core and give Patrick Mahomes every option imaginable for this team. And with this receiving core, with Kelsey included and those backs, I mean, you're looking at Cooper Kupp being a guy that would just take this offense to a whole another level. Nobody would be stopping that offense. They could be scoring 40-plus points a game. Sounds a little hyperbole, but it's not that far-fetched. I think that Cooper Kupp would be awesome to have and would be great. Will it happen? I don't think so, but hey, sounds like a great idea. Carl says, would re-signing Kareem Hunt be so bad he deserves a ring? Yes, it would be so bad for a number of reasons. Number one, he's cooked. He's washed. Kareem Hunt was not good last season or the year prior. He's not what he once was. And then two, I know that some Chiefs fans are going to like me saying this. Carl's probably not going to like me saying this, but I'm just going to be real with y'all because that's what we do around here, folks. I don't think Kareem's a good person. I don't. We know about when he got kicked off from the team a couple of years ago, and then some of the other stuff that's occurred in his time in the NFL off the field. And I just don't want Kareem Hunt around. I mean, the Chiefs have been through enough this offseason. We've talked about Rashee Rice, and just some of the other instances. I don't want the headache of Kareem Hunt to be a part of this. So I'm good. And you may forget, Kareem Hunt, even though he got caught from that first Super Bowl team, halfway through the season, when that videotape came out, he did get a ring for being a part of that team. Even though he didn't finish the year with Kansas City, he still got a ring. So he still got his, even though he didn't play in the Super Bowl that year. So, no, I don't want Kareem Hunt. A couple more for you. Chiefs writes in, what do you think the biggest Chiefs weakness on defense or offense? Weakness is corner. It's the cornerback position. You got Trent McDuffie and then a few other unknowns in that corner room. Offense, it's the offensive line, but the interior is so good with Creed and Joe Tooney and some of these other guys that I think that the offense is still in very good shape. I think that the offensive line, you have enough strength pieces that can overcome any potential weakness. So I think this is a well-rounded roster. Last question. Wiley Coyote says, Clyde not RB2. Pirine will be. Steele is the hybrid. Clyde will be RB3. We'll see. Really depends on, where Clyde's at health-wise and, if he's going to be available and all that. I don't see the Chiefs forcing Clyde to take a back seat unless he does that himself. Unless he can't be available, I still think he's the number 2 running back unless things change. But Pirine, I like the signing. I like what he did there with the Cincinnati Bengals a couple of years ago. I think he's had a solid career. I think he's a fine backup, but you have options. Steele is the sleeper in all this with what he could do, potentially playing fullback and running back, and with the speed that he has still, the breakaway speed, you're in good shape. You're locked in. Subscribe now to the Kansas City Chiefs Report for continuing Chiefs coverage. Join the Noti gang and turn on those notifications so you never miss a moment. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time right here on the channel. All right. So we are just about done. Let's get in, before we wrap up here, last chance to get on today's show and send in a super chat. First time super chatters get the KC chant. $5 super chat, Mahomes song. $10 super chat, take some shots. $25 super chat, spicy jelly bean. $50 super chat, we'll do a beer bong. Tex, anything else before we wrap up today's show?
Oh, that was a great live show. I had a great time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Good stuff, man.
Very good stuff. Folks, appreciate you being here. Thanks for hanging out here on today's show. More to come throughout the weekend, so stay tuned to the channel for continuing Chiefs coverage. Big Tex, a lot of fun today. Can't wait till we get to Thursday night, Chiefs and Ravens. Should be a great game.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Thursday Night Football.
Can't wait. We will see you then. For Big Tex, I'm Tyler Jones. Have a great extended weekend. I'm off to Vegas, and appreciate you guys being here and joining us. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Happy early Labor Day to you. We'll see you next time.